Hillary Clinton's former State Department Chief of Staff appeared today before the House Select Committee on Benghazi. That would be Cheryl Mills. She was expected to face questions about Clinton's emails. And this was during a closed-door session there on Capitol Hill. Another former aide, an IT aide, however, this man has indicated he's not going to answer questions. He will instead plead the Fifth Amendment. This is Brian Pagliano. He's a former IT staffer. He helped with the private email server that Clinton used, as well as with her email account, a private email account. Joining me now to talk about this from New York is Brian Fallon. He is the press secretary for Hillary for America. Thanks for being with us, Brian. Really appreciate it. And I do want to read a statement from Nick Merrill. This is Secretary Clinton's traveling press secretary, and Nick says she's made every effort to answer questions and be as helpful as possible and has encouraged her aides, current and former, to do the same. That includes Brian Pagliano. So why is he disregarding that encouragement, do you think?
Well, he's not a part of the campaign. He's a private citizen, and so we can't require him to do anything. He's represented by his own lawyer. All we can do is give the same advice and recommendation and encouragement as Hillary Clinton has done with all of her aides, current and former. You mentioned Cheryl Mills. She's testifying at a long session today with the Benghazi Committee. Jake Sullivan, her former Deputy Chief of Staff from the State Department, is testifying tomorrow. She's personally testifying herself in October. I believe there'll probably be other aides that come forward and are willing to answer questions. So in every instance so far, she's encouraged everyone to cooperate because we want to make every good faith effort to be transparent and answer any questions people have. But with Mr. Pagliano, we encouraged him as well because we don't think he has any reason to not be transparent about the help that he provided from an IT perspective. But unfortunately, it's his choice what to do, and I think that I can't speak for him, but I can only speculate. And from the words that have leaked out from the letter that his attorney sent to Capitol Hill, it suggests that he was afraid of being caught in a partisan swirl that now consumes 3 different committees on Capitol Hill, where Republicans are trying to take this fact-finding expedition into a partisan exercise meant to hurt Hillary Clinton's campaign.
So let me ask you about that, because certainly, and I think observers will say there is clearly a political aspect to this, but there are also questions that need to be asked and need to be answered.
Sure.
You said
Absolutely.
that she's done everything to be transparent, but I personally asked her about deleting her emails, how she came to that decision, how it was executed. That was 2 months ago. She did not answer that question when I asked, and she hasn't answered it since. How is that transparent?
I disagree with that, Brianna. We've been pretty clear, and actually all that information is posted on our website. She's answered it when it's been asked on the trail. After she turned over all 55,000 pages of her emails that could have even remotely been deemed work-related, they made the decision to not retain any of her emails.
Yeah,
that was her decision to make with respect.
Brian? Why did she decide to delete the emails?
Well, all the
how
work-related
was that process
ones.
executed? It's not even clear to us who went through the emails.
Sure,
it's not clear to us the actual timeline for when those were deleted. We've sort of gotten a range, but it's kind of vague.
Okay, so I'll tell you. So 55,000 pages of work-related emails. After a very laborious process that was conducted by her legal team, they did extensive keyword searches. They went email by email. Anything that was even deemed remotely related as work-based was handed over to the State Department. That was
so it was just her legal team? Was she involved? Were her aides involved?
I don't know what you mean by her aides. She has personal attorneys that are well known. They've been quoted in the press that handled the process of sorting through the emails. David Kendall, Cheryl Mills, her personal attorneys that are Cheryl, who's testifying or giving an interview today on Capitol Hill. The personal emails, the ones that were personal in nature, were hers to do with what she wanted. And quite understandably, I think the public agrees that even politicians and public officials are entitled to a zone of privacy. But when it came to emails dealing with the arrangements for her mother's funeral, her daughter's wedding.
But the work emails, Brian, deleted as well. Now I know they were put in
they had already been
form,
provided. Right.
But for instance, a judge has said in the case of Cheryl Mills with her attorney who said, hey, Cheryl Mills is turning over her paper emails, and I've advised her to delete them. The judge said, oh, no one's deleting anything. And many legal experts say, if you're facing scrutiny, you don't delete emails. And that's really the question that I sort of want to get at here.
Sure. Okay, so let me try to be as clear as possible, and you can follow up and ask if anything's unclear. She provided 55,000 pages of emails. It's true that she provided them in hard copy. That's what the law required. If the law or the State Department had asked for them to be provided electronically, we would have done that. The law required them to be provided in paper form. She made the decision after that to not retain those, other than a copy that was kept. Other than, well, it wasn't kept on the server, Brianna, but a copy was kept by her personal attorney.
Why didn't she keep them on the server?
I don't know what the pertinence of that would have been. She did keep a copy of it in the possession, an electronic copy in the possession of her lawyer. Well, a judge has suggested that Cheryl Mills keep hers in her email account. Why wouldn't Hillary Clinton do that? Many records experts say the same emails, Brianna, the same emails were kept, an electronic copy of them were kept by David Kendall. And then last month we provided them to the Justice Department. So no emails were lost in this process. I think that people are focusing on the wrong thing. The State Department had them in paper copy, and then last month the Justice Department received an electronic copy.
Just to be clear, Brian, this is an electronic copy that I imagine is a PDF form that David Kendall retained, or is this the actual email with the metadata on it?
So the Justice Department, in addition to having the electronic form of the PDFs that was provided to the State Department, they also now have the server. So I don't know what the FBI is going to do with it, but they very well may seek to perform any type of operation on it. And if they do,
server, right, Brian?
I don't know what wiped means. The emails were deleted. The emails were deleted. The emails were deleted, but I think when you say wiped.
But I'm asking you about the thumb drives. You said that David Kendall had the electronic copies of the emails. Those were PDF copies, right? And I ask you this because I've tried to get this answered and I haven't been able to.
Yes.
These were not the actual emails that had the metadata. These were not the emails as you would see them on a server if they hadn't been. Do you see what I'm saying?
They're PDFs on a thumb drive.
Emails in electronic
right, but I'm not sure what point you're making.
I'm just saying that there's more information, and a judge has said that Cheryl Mills shouldn't delete emails like that. Honestly, I just wanted to pin
that's
you
a separate case.
Stuff that I haven't been able to
I'm not sure why you're asking. I'm not sure why you're asking about Cheryl Mills.
Because it follows certain standards of preservation of
followed,
documents, and that was why I asked.
Brianna, she's followed every request. The State Department asked for emails in paper form, she provided them. The Justice Department asked for them in electronic form, PDFs on a thumb drive, she provided them. And she's also provided the server. There's been no, I don't know what wiped means. Literally, the emails were deleted off of the server, that's true. But it's quite possible. I don't know that any steps were taken to remove any metadata. So to the extent that there is a further inquiry with respect to the server, they won't find anything other than what we've already represented, which is that all the work-related emails were turned over. And in fact, Hillary Clinton herself has signed a declaration asserting that. So even if somehow they were able to look at any of the emails that were not retained, they wouldn't find anything than what we've always said, which is that all the work-related emails are in the possession of the State Department already.
Well, I just wanted to take the opportunity to get to some of the decision-making processes, Brian, and I certainly appreciate you coming.
I hope I answered.
Talk to us about it. Well, I have some more questions, but I'll follow up because we're out of time.
Okay.
But thanks so much for being on.